Welcome to another episode of the Path Talk Show, and we have a great guest. He is the co-founder of Booxclass and Fit Pro Consulting, and he's also a boxing promoter. He is Aaron Castro.
Thanks, guys. That was a really good intro.
I appreciate it. A little bit of practice, and we have Emmanuel here as well. He's been away for a few episodes. Now he's back.
Yep.
And
It's good to be back.
yeah, it's good. So for those that don't know, can you tell people about what Booxclass is all about?
Okay, so Booxclass we have two locations, right? I'm not just the only owner. My business partner's name's Top. He's actually been on a podcast similar to this place before. So we are located in two locations. One's in Smithfield and one's in Smeaton Grange. And we specialize in boxing, kickboxing, and circuit training. The Smithfield location is quite bigger. It's all access. We have about 35 pieces of weight training, pin loaded, plate loaded equipment, and we have circuit training classes and group training classes. The Smeaton Grange area is more so your class-based gym. So it's a little bit smaller. It's about that 500 square meter space, more boutique, but there boxing's a lot more popular. So the boxing classes there are a lot more popular. You're hitting about 30s in those small group classes. So that's what we specialize more in that area there. So
That's amazing. And it brings me back to a story when I was venturing into PT, but I was still doing wrestling coaching at the time. And at that time as well, I was working in disabilities.
Yeah.
And I was just driving home from work and I was just thinking to myself, I want to start a business, but I just don't know what to start. And I just remember going home and I was like doing a little prayer to myself. And all of a sudden I got a text and it was from you. And you actually gave me the opportunity to be able to start a PT business.
That was at UFC, right?
Yeah, UFC
crazy,
gym back in
yeah.
the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, really, you translate into PT if you are coaching. So it's very, very similar. If anything, what you were doing before, you were just coaching a group scenario, but you were really niched down to wrestling. And this is what a lot of personal trainers need to be, right? They need to be niched out.
Yeah, that's that.
You can't be a one-size-fits-all type of trainer. So that's why, you put two and two together in your head and you look at you coaching people and you look at how your social skills are and all this type of stuff. And it gels, man. It just seemed right by like sending a message to you asking if you wanted to become a personal trainer.
I greatly appreciate that. And I love and I admire this about you as well, where you are a problem solver, where you're able to put so many different puzzles together and be able to make it work. And how are you able to get into that mindset in order to make those things happen, to become that type of problem solver?
Oh, thank you, man. Look, I wouldn't say like, how would you do it? Like, it's just more so just trying to put pieces together. So I can't really say I have a process as to how I do things, because if you don't really try putting people together or trying different things, then you'll never know if it works, right? So eventually obviously as you do things over time, you just know what fits rather than saying, how does it fit? Like you just know it fits through experience. So if you're a personal trainer that has just started in the industry, or if you're a personal trainer now, 20 years, obviously you're going to see leaps and bounds of experience and what people know throughout this period of time, right? So we all know, I know you're a personal trainer, right?
Yeah.
You're 1-2 years in.
Yeah, 2 years in.
Isn't that correct? And you always want that. You always want something very immediate. You want it now, right? Let's say I want 30 clients now, or I want to work my hours now. I want to do all of these things a certain way. I was like that too. And it doesn't work out that way, You got to go through a lot of failures. You got to go through a lot of things where, you're battling some head noise as well too, because you're like, how do I get through my day with how do I get sessions? How do I get people? How do I get leads into the door?
Yeah.
But, as time progresses, you learn, right?
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. You learn. And, these coaches where they say they want certain things now, I always tell them that they have to go through the process of doing everything first before you can get to this position, or you either just get help as well too, right? The best way to do is to ask for help, which I never really had.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what do you find is the biggest problem at the moment when you see personal trainers running their business and how would you approach them in order to be able to be more effective in their business?
Oh, I get this. It's quite different now. I see with you guys when we were talking about the age difference, right? So like I'm 35 now. What are you at now?
32.
32. You're
21.
21. So the age gap is very different. Look, I'm not throwing shade at anyone or anything like that when it comes to the age difference and how people are Gen Y, Gen Z, or whatever it is. I just see that the work ethic is very different. Like, I mean, the work ethic and the hustle and the mindset towards it is very different. And I think social media has sort of put that knife in there to just sort of say it's quite easy to do things, and it makes it out like it's very lucrative to like obviously have this job, but it's hard. You know what I mean? Like the average lifespan of a personal trainer is what? 1 year?
About that, yeah.
Yeah, about that. So like they've made it out. Social media has made it out like it's very easy to become a personal trainer, but like attaining clients and going through this process daily and managing yourself is very different as well too.
Yeah, I agree to that, because a lot of my friends who always wanted to be like a personal trainer or sort of work in that fitness industry, right? They think about, just training the clients, right?
Yeah.
Giving them programs and, weight loss, fat loss, or building muscle and all that. But a lot of people forget, the main thing about PT, and it's quite hidden, and, it's not really sort of talked about, which is the sales aspect of it.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's where a lot of people struggle, right? You may have like a lot of knowledge into, fitness, or you have your own niches and all that, and you might be the best of what you do, right? But if you don't know how to make sales, if you don't know how to communicate with people.
No, that's right, man. It's absolutely true.
You can't even sort of get into that fitness industry. So
that's right.
Yeah, you're right. When it comes to social media, they paint it as if it's so easy to be a personal trainer. When I was in my first year, I struggled a lot, right?
Yep.
Because I always thought about training my clients just, I'm really motivated, passionate about teaching them calisthenics, right? I was like so motivated. I was like,
I can hear myself here as well too, man. Like, you're hearing yourself here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then until I realized, like, man, why am I not getting all the leads? I feel like I'm the best.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially around the area, not a lot of people's doing calisthenics.
That's right. That's right.
And then I realized, like, okay, I gotta sort of give the sales pitch. I gotta get myself out there, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe do some, free sessions, or do like a workshop or something, right? And try to talk with people. And then from there, that's how I sort of built myself up, right? But then, of course, there's a lot of ups and downs, but that's part of the process when it comes to just trying to get, your own clients.
Yep.
So building that client base is the hard part. And then from there, just trying to maintain and
100%.
Go from there,
100%.
really, yeah.
And I always Justin can vouch for that as well too. Like I teach people a different way. I won't teach them like, if you know your programs, and being a personal trainer is easy, right? As in like in the sense of programming, training people. We all know how to train. We go to the gym. You might be a wrestling coach, you might be a boxing coach, you might be a kickboxing coach. These things are easy. But what I always want and what I always preach is relatability. Being visible on the floor, getting to know everyone's name, letting people know who you are as well too. So when you walk into the room, it's not so much a demanding attention, it's people know you're there, right? And it's that vibe and that feeling when you walk into the gym that people want to be drawn to you. It's not all about just having the best training program. It's not all about just looking the biggest, the best, the most shredded, all that type of stuff. It's if people can really just warm up to you straight away. And we all know, like, I mean, out of the first 5 seconds when you meet someone, like, if you like the guy or not, and that's what I always teach all the trainers as well too. It's just like, I don't really care about your programs, man. I don't care about your experience as well too. Like, it's more so if I can be relatable to you, and if you can be relatable to a 50, 60-year-old woman or a pro athlete, or just the Gen Pop person as well too. But then if you can mix them all together in a room and make them have fun, then you got a gift, then you got a skill. That's what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
This is fitness. This is personal training. This is the reason why we built up Booxclass as well too. It's just so we can create an environment really where people could train. They felt like themselves, and no one was better than anyone. But you can see that everyone's fighting their own battle when it comes to their fitness journey, but everyone's there supporting each other as well too. And that was the cool thing. I just look at it as my own garage, you know what I mean? Where I walk in there, I can be myself, I can be comfortable. I don't need to pretend like I'm anyone else as well too. So like I walk there completely feeling comfortable, and if you can do that, then that sort of rubs off on everyone else as well too, you know. But I mean, the ability to see trainers like you at the start as well too, to see if you're struggling or if you need certain help, you know, that's where, you know, I find the passion in doing that. So that's where that's the reason why me and my cousin built Fit Pro Media as well too, to help trainers like you and Justin as well too, because we've been through that battle and we've been in your shoes. So, yeah.
Big shout out to Justin Castro as well.
He's been with me for 5-6 years. Well, not 5-6 years. We were cousins. We grew up together. But like, as in this journey where it becomes like fitness and social media, we've been through this together. We've worked on Booxclass together in that field of marketing. So guys, same thing. Marketing wise, for all you trainers out there as well too, or your branding, we've worked on our brand for at least 5 years to sort of get it to where it needs to be. You don't get it straight away. You know, it takes time. It takes a process. You have to learn about like what message you want to deliver. Okay, that message doesn't work. Let's try another message. This style doesn't work. Let's try a different style. All right, this one doesn't work. Maybe I might go find some help somewhere else. Come back. I'll try X, Y, Z, and I'll keep going. And that's what we keep doing. We're just forever trying to evolve as well too. So
it's amazing too that how much marketing has evolved in itself. Where I remember back in 2018, I took a online course and we learned how to do marketing, but we had to put it on InShot.
Yep.
It was like really bad quality of terms of marketing. And you would get like over about 150 to 200 applicants.
Yep.
But if you do that type of like editing now for your marketing, you'll be lucky to even get one.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing how much you have to invest now in order to be able to progress forward in your marketing.
Absolutely. And it's just like that Gary V mindset, right? Like you just got to get it out. To be honest, like too many people sit in the pocket to just say, oh, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. I mean, look at us when we first started as well too. It's not so much obviously about the followers or anything like that. I'm not looking for that. I am looking for followers in my area. That's all I'm looking for because that's who I'm selling to. I'm not looking for followers anywhere else, as in like different countries or different locations or anything like that. I specifically wanted to sit in each pocket and get engaging members and followers. And that's what obviously we try to do.
And I noticed you're great as well with building solid communities in terms of your own clients, but also within the personal trainers where they all just gel together and get along like they're a family. And it's like what you said before, a lot of people tend to feel stressed from work or they just want to just escape from their reality and they just go to Booxclass or even in previous gyms that we worked at, and they just felt right at home and they would spend like at least 3 to sometimes even 5 hours in there just because they wanted to spend time with us, which was like, it was great.
Yeah, it's a good thing to see. Look, I didn't come in with the intention of doing that. Like, I mean, when people say, or like the old saying is community, like when you're marketing a business, like community, sense of belonging, all of these things. Like I never really came in with the mind frame to do that. It was really just the way I was brought up. You know, it's not so much about the way I was brought up with my family or anything like that. It's just the way me and my friends were brought up. We were a close-knit bunch of friends, 5 close friends, Justin, Lance, Steve, Ramos. And if I look at all of these people, they're all in the fitness industry still too. You know what I mean? So we never really came in with the intention of like building a community or anything like that. If you have I wouldn't say so much a gift, we just know we were good at talking to people. We were good at making people feel good. That's really what I always try to preach as well too. It's just if you do good towards others, good things come back to you, you know? So that's
definitely. And that's when you started your first gym, right? With that community. Like
with those boys there. Yeah. Well, I started at Fitness First. And then obviously we opened up our franchise. Like I opened up my first franchise. It was a good experience, but not a bad experience as well too. Like I learned a lot there. Quit PT. Wanted to stop for a little bit. Then UFC, and then obviously Booxclass. So it's been about a 10-year journey.
Beautiful.
10-year journey.
And what are like the 5 biggest lessons you learned in those years?
5 biggest lessons is that, number 1, you can't always get what you want straight away. Number 2, you can be all that on a bag of chips. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you say you're good, you're doing all of these things, but you got to be very, very humble. And you are going to get humbled as well too throughout this time and when you're running a business. Number 3, structure is everything. And look, I can say that as well, but I'm not the best at it, and it's forever changing, and I'm trying to fix it, because if you don't have structure, everything else falls apart. Sales. That's it. Look, I can preach that all day. It's all about sales.
Yeah,
like
It is.
it's not so much obviously putting the image that you're selling every single day, but like you're out in front of everyone every day. And look, I wear Booxclass every day just because that's not just because I want to rep it or anything like that. It's because I'm showing my brand and this is what I'm about. And, you know, people will ask what it is, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? And look, I pride myself on that, learning sales, becoming the best salesman, but doing it in the right way, ethical and moral. All of these things, you got to do it the right way. And the fifth thing I've learned is that you need time to yourself as well too. You need a break. So the break, as in like you need a break. And what was the other one that I said? What was number 3?
Yeah.
I forgot number 3.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was thinking about the sales.
but having a break, you know what I mean? Like having
Yeah.
that mental break, because you can't always be pushing the pedal 24/7. You can gas out. So you have that
for
break
sure.
so you can become fresh again as well. But yeah.
Oh, that's good. And what packages are you currently selling at the FitPro consulting business?
We're not so much selling packages. We are working at more proposals. So Emmanuel, you could want something different, or you could want something similar to what Justin does, but it's completely different. So let's say, for example, Justin, what's your niche and what do you want to achieve? What do you want to do with your social media business and presence? Like if I ask you a question now, what would that be?
Well, for one, I want to be able to build my presence in freestyle wrestling, to be able to build my own personal course, to be able to teach people from the foundations to the most advanced level of wrestling.
And what would your goal be if you wanted to build an online presence as a personal trainer?
With online presence as a personal trainer, usually I like to focus around my own niche, which is calisthenics, right? I like to go through how calisthenics can help with injury preventions. I like to go through like the technique side, just the different branches of calisthenics really. So we've got like street lifting as well. I really like that, and the skills components, and just going like similar to what Justin said, like from the beginners all the way to the advanced, right? But one thing that I've been focusing a lot more is how calisthenics can help with injury prevention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
does it help with like parkour and all that type of stuff too? Does it translate into all those things?
that's more like the dynamics aspect. So like, have you seen those guys that do like full like spins on the bars
those
and all
spins
that?
and all, yeah.
Yeah, like I think it sort of translates to parkour just because of the coordination side of things, right? But yeah, I wouldn't say like exactly like parkour, but I guess it can translate. It can help just with coordination.
All right, cool. And if you see that there's obviously differences between the both of you, what is the end goal of what you guys want to achieve here? So let's say, for example, Justin does want to build that community of all these people and all these type of things, but what's the actual goal with your social media presence, and what do you want to achieve?
So with Wrestle Elevate, I want to be able to build a successful branch where a wrestler, I don't actually have to be there as much, but they have everything they need within the course. From learning the foundations on how to stand properly, how to set up their attacks, the strategies they need, to the attacks, defense, to all the advanced elements that's going to be required for those foundations as well. So it's just building onto those things that are in the foundations course to be able to advance themselves. And I want to be able to eventually by 2032 and hopefully 2028, I want to be a Olympic coach for freestyle wrestling. So that's a big plan as well. So I have a few students that are pretty much getting funded now to be able to do that. So a lot of my focus is going towards that at the moment in order to make those things happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. And you, Emmanuel?
Just with me, when it comes with the whole calisthenics aspect, it's just having that sort of reputation, like being known for someone who can help someone who's like starting off, right? Just to build up the skills and the strength for calisthenics. Not just that, but as well as I like to focus more on the mentality side of things, right? So how long it takes and, having that patience, right? Your work ethic and how to really show that commitment. Also have that balance between, working, towards calisthenics skills and as well as just lifestyle as well, right? A big part of me, usually when I talk with my clients, yes, it's always about it's usually professional, so just about calisthenics or about whatever training they're doing, right? But I also like to engage in more like just mental health and just talking about things that sort of inspires them a lot. Right? So I have that aspiration to inspire people. And just being able to have that reputation, being known to not only just focus just for fitness, but using fitness as a sort of therapy
for sure.
people. So it's just having that reputation, being known for that, and being able to inspire as many people as I can along the way.
That's awesome, man.
So,
that's awesome. And so with your business, you'd still want to do one-on-ones or group training and all that. So you want to still be a face-to-face trainer.
Yeah, it's face-to-face. I prefer face-to-face more, but online as well is like more for. I encourage online just for those who are like a little bit intermediate, advanced, and all that. So, but. Yeah, usually the way how I run my online business is if it's people like around the area and all, like I'll still have that once a month face-to-face session just to sort of keep in contact and show that my character side of things, and like it's not always through like a Zoom call or a phone call, you know what I mean? So that's just me.
Face-to-face is always good. I love face-to-face, but we can see the differences where you two are at right now. So like you said, if we're gonna do a proposal, I need to get to know each one of you as a client, because Emmanuel is somewhere different and you're somewhere different now. So we're here to build a wrestling community. You want to be a recognized coach in Australia because your goal and aspirations is to be an Olympic wrestling coach, right? But you also want to create a platform where wrestlers and the community can thrive and they can all train together, where you built a program that they can follow, sort of like your ethos type of structure, but online as well too. But you want it to be in a position where they just follow it through an app, and you could quite possibly run maybe monthly seminars where you get them all together, run them through the program, and then tell them that this is the phase or training block that you're going through.
Yes, that's exactly
right. Whereas Emmanuel, you're still looking to do your one-on-one and your face-to-face training, so you can situate your place where it needs to be. Whereas Justin can be more broad, his audience, whereas your audience is still niched out, but you want to get leads to come to see you face to face. So you can see the difference here when it comes to social media or what your marketing is going to be. And the goal is always going to be leads, right? What a lot of people do is they always come to me saying, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to put money in paid ads and all of these things? But the first thing is what we need to do is we need to create systems and structures towards your social media business. So like I said to Justin, we're always talking where we work together. You have to create pillars, like a pillar of a social media pillar, where you're going to create the content where his ideal client of a wrestling client is going to look at his page, and he's going to look and they're going to go through things and troubles that they go through as a wrestler. So what did we say a problem was the other day?
So a big thing, they lacked efficient technique for one, or they struggle actually winning matches.
Yep. But they're two different things, struggling to win matches, and then what was the other one that you said? Their technique. So they they have their needs and wants, but if you have that in your social media already as a hook, then it's easier for you to get them as a lead and sign them up as a client. So you have to create a pillar of content that dives into the emotional needs of your actual client that you want to work with. So someone who wants to learn calisthenics, we need to know the reason why as to why someone needs to learn or wants to learn calisthenics. Yes, whether it may be injury prevention or all of these type of things, what you can sort of propose to normal people in general is that if they are just training and just starting training, calisthenics is perfect for them to start. What's the saying, or what's that phase that they go through? It's called that anatomical adaptation phase, where you have to strengthen the tendons and ligaments for stronger type of exercises like your deadlifts, your squats, your plyometrics, all of these things. But the way to do these things first is to focus on calisthenics for a certain period of time, and then you can choose, is this the route I want to go through? Whereas in calisthenics, where you want to do muscle ups, you want to do those cool plyo push-ups, all of these things. And if that's what your actual client wants, then we're just digging deep into that want and that need for them. Like they want to do those cool push-ups. They want to do those cool muscle ups. You know what I mean? I've seen those guys where they're going back and forth. What's that called?
Where's back and forth?
Like they're on the dip machine and then they go down and then like they can move.
Russian dip.
Yeah, so like they can do some cool stuff like that as well too. So like these are things that they want to see. So you just sort of, you're throwing the line out, you're casting the line out. Obviously, there's bait there. And obviously, if people pull and eat the bait, or they like you've hooked them in, then that's your chance to obviously make them as a client.
Yeah, for sure.
Different wants, different needs. A gym would come to me as well too, saying they want 50 clients in a month. It's not possible. It's not that it's not possible. Like I can put ads on there, but like you're not gonna get the chances of that is like you'd probably only get probably about 2 of them, 3 of them, and they're gonna be good clients. But if your content and your social media structure is great, it answers all the questions that you need of your client, and you're continuously posting content out that the actual client wants and needs, and your stories are matching that as well too, then it's easier for me to put money on one piece of content, and then people are going to go into the funnel, they'll look into your Instagram page, they'll look, okay, this is what I'm going through, or this is what I want, this is it, and then I'll put a story out, XYZ, call to action, and then there you go. Like, I mean, that's how it works, but it's every day.
Every day, yeah. That's a daily thing.
It's every day.
Yeah.
It's not just like a 1-2 day thing, man. Like it's not even just a 3 day thing.
Yeah.
Like it's every day. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job.
It's pretty much just storytelling on your social media. It's a platform for that, where I'm just like starting to understand now the difference between the 3 different hooks, where you have the ones you have in the caption, the one you say, and also that visual hook, how you're going to get their attention from the start. For example, I used the water just to use a new way to capture someone's attention.
Absolutely.
And it's just like I'm just starting to scratch the surface of understanding these things.
Well, the attention span of people is like on these reels is like 10 seconds. But the good thing is obviously within those 10 seconds or 7 seconds is that it repeats. So if you have a good hook, you have a good something like a problem that you want to talk about, then it repeats over and over again. And literally, like I said the other day, it doesn't really need to match what the actual problem is. Like you could do yourself just drinking a cup of water, looking into the wherever you're looking, the horizon, and then have that problem there. But they're in your page and they're looked and they're just like, you know, that's what I'm actually going through right now. You know, that's what I'm feeling right now. I've always wanted to do that. I didn't think about that. And then they read the caption, you know, okay, you've given them something to go, like obviously like talk about as well too about that problem. And they look, if they resonate with it, then they'll probably reach out to you. Yeah. But you got to cast the line out. And if you're not casting the line out every day, and if you're not fishing, even if you throw the net out as well too, and you're trying to fish for like 1,000 fish, like you might not get some that day, you know? Another day you might only get 2. Another day you might get 3. Then another day you might get none again. But, you know, for small business owners like you guys, if you're getting at least 2 to 3 a week, or even 1 a week, you know, that potential client can cost anywhere between over a year, $3,000, $4,000.
Yeah.
But that's another problem as well too with social media as well too. They'll be like, oh, I just made $30,000 in a month. Okay, you made $30,000 in a month because you've obviously just sold bulk packages. But then obviously if you do the maths, really that person only costs like $160 this week. You know what I mean? But then you've probably got 20 people. You know, if you've got 20 people at $160, I'm not really good at maths, so I'm not really going to do the maths there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's going to be an end time frame for them. They've made 30 grand that month, but then next month they might make nothing. But social media has made it out to be where it's very lucrative to make 30K, which yes, it is. You can make money very quick if you have the right product. Fight camp, for example, you know what I mean? Running 8-week programs, all of these things. But all of these things have a time and place. I could run it every quarter, but then the feeling of it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't.
I only ran it back because the feeling was there because it was the second time. So fingers crossed, touch wood. Let's see how we go.
I was actually going to run through that because you are running a 10-week fight camp and you are currently a boxing promoter as well. And you had about 600 to 800 people at your first fight promotion.
Yep. I wouldn't say I'm a fight promoter as of yet. I'm in the process and I have got my promoter's license and all that. So that's the next goals and ambitions on that track. But this is a good platform to start. And just like I said, guys, for me, if anything, it's more so just putting my flavor into it. I'm not too sure if you've been to those corporate fighter events or amateur events when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
You've been to those events and you know the vibe and you know the style of it. Look, I'm not looking to do that. I'm just looking to put that Booxclass flavor on it and what I feel, what I achieve and what the vibe feels like and all that type of stuff. That's what I want people to feel when they walk into the door. So when you come to these events, it's not like you're just coming in to see that one person that you're supporting to fight. You're coming in because the atmosphere is cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, family type of atmosphere. It's community based. People are talking to each other. The person next to you is talking to each other as well too. You're having friends and you're talking about boxing in general and you get a good feeling, you get a good rush of it. And the processes as in like getting the right people there, the ring announcer, the ref, the DJ, the walkout experience, even the training leading up to it beforehand, and even just the actual fight in itself. We just want that stuff to be really raw. And we want people to feel the emotion and the vibe of it. So when you walk in, it's just like that. I want to just put my vibe on it. And this is like what I like. I like nice music. Like we're vibing to good music, good crew, good community. You're feeling good. And you're just looking, you're just like, man, this is sick. You know, it's just like when you walk into a club, you're like, man, I'm vibing this place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you might not think of it at the start. You're like, man, I don't really want to go clubbing today. But then when you go, you're with good people and you're like, man, I'm having a good time here. You know, so, but yeah, I came in with that tailgate mentality. You know, in America, where they do those tailgate meets just before the NFL games.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so like I sort of base all of my stuff around that type of vibe, where. So the story is with these NFL games, just before these NFL games, you do a massive tailgate meet. So you got barbecues, you got music playing. It's a big G up before the actual game. So people are hanging out with each other. They're repping their team and you're staying with the same people with like-minded thoughts about the team as well too. You're talking about the game, but the whole point of this tailgate is for everyone just to have a really good time just before the game. And you just create good feelings, good emotions that are like supporting that team just before the game. And that's where I sort of got that mentality from to start this idea of starting this community and pocket for not so much promotions, but just this boxing event. So, but yeah, it's like I said, touch wood. The first one was good. We'll see how we go the next one.
Absolutely. And what makes someone eligible in order to go into the 10-week fight camp to have that experience of fighting?
Look, you don't really need to have any previous experience. We had people who jumped in the ring who had no experience at all. They were training at Booxclass, just doing more so of your fitness classes and all these things. You don't need any prior experience. Like, if you put in the work within 10 weeks, it's not like we're matching you up with someone who's got a higher skill level than you. We try to match people up with the same type of skill level and where they're at.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how you were able to just be able to do that in 10 weeks and just like, because I wasn't there at the first event,
Yeah.
but I just saw the atmosphere through the stories where I just saw you putting in the work previously before the event and then how it actually ended out for the end result.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just phenomenal to see the atmosphere through your stories. And
Thanks, man.
yeah, it was.
All credit to my team. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do what I do without my team. My coaches are amazing. Boys from Smith and Grange. You got Reese, you got Jerome, you got Peter, you got Tim there. The Smithfield boys, Shaq, Sadat, Selchuk, Michael. Look, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at, or like we wouldn't have been able to do this actual event without these coaches and the gyms that were involved as well too. Great bunch of coaches, great crews, great community. This wouldn't happen as well too if they didn't have similar communities or similar personalities to us, and that's how we all gelled together. And yeah, the rest of the crew as well too in Booxclass Smithfield, they helped out a lot. So all credit to them. Like it just was able. I was able to do what I needed to do on the day to make it run smooth. But in saying that, I still didn't know what I was doing. Like just before I started. So, but it came out good. It came out good.
And how's your mindset have changed since then? Like since the first event?
It's changed a lot. Look, all credit to Jason as well too. Like I know he's doing promotions, events. He works inside. We're at Booxclass as well too. He guided me through a lot of things, and he's still guiding me now. So my process has changed to where it's not so much about, like I said, the money making aspect side of things. Like I have a gym, I have a space, and I need to learn how to use it to its full capability, and learning how to do these things every quarter or so, or learning how to use my space to my biggest advantage is where it's opened my brain and my mind a lot more to a lot more things. Where, look, man, I'll be honest with you, man. Like running a gym in a PT business or even group training, it becomes stale, and it's motivated me a lot more. Definitely, it's absolutely motivated me a lot more, and it's put a spark into something where I know it's going to take time, but to create another brand or a brand inside the brand, or another thing where a community can thrive and they can survive and we can support them. That's what it's done for me. It's given me that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What if there's like a business owner that is going through running a gym right now, but they're struggling and they're having a difficult time being able to market and also be able to get people through the door because they don't have the right demographic? What advice would you give to that person who's going through that rough patch?
Well, you just said it just there, right? They don't have the right demographic. So first things first, we need to know what the actual demographic is that they want to train. You know, a lot of the time people just open up the gyms and they just say, we're your one size fits all gym, or if you're a personal trainer, you're your one size fits all trainer. And you just got to really niche it down to what you actually want to train. So perfect example, Justin, is you. You want to specifically train wrestlers, and that's a perfect niche. That's your demographic. That's what we're looking at. We're not looking at anything else apart from that, because all the other prerequisites, as in to become a great wrestler, is you're going to be able to sell after that, like your strength and conditioning, your offset products. You can sell all of these things after you get them in for wrestling, because people are just going to want one thing, and it's wrestling. Or people are going to want just one thing, and it's going to be boxing, right? So that's what my advice is to that small gym owner, is to find out what he wants to, or who he wants to train first, and then continue marketing that consistently over time. That's my advice.
That's great.
Nice.
What kind of legacy do you want to leave for your kids?
That's a really nice question, man. It's a really nice question. It's not so much I want to leave a legacy. I want them to just know I was always there. So if I can give that to my kids to say, or if I leave them with something to say, he was always here for me. He helped me through every stage in my life, and he's still there for me now to this day. That's the legacy I can leave. Like this stuff here, clothes, hats, houses, businesses. I mean, that really means nothing. You know, at the end of the day, I think I spoke about this the other day, is just like, they're not gonna remember you working the business, like, or if they do, they'll remember you working there and they say he wasn't there. You know, so the legacy I want to leave is that I want to always be available to them emotionally, give them a safe space, and allow for them to thrive, something that I never actually had as well too. So just giving them that space and knowing that that's the legacy I can leave them, that's the best gift I can leave to them.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
What's one quote that you sort of leave out there for those who are struggling, like when you were going through your time of trying to build yourself up? What was one quote that helped you out, and you believe that will help out those who are in that sort of similar shoes as you?
I wouldn't say quote, man. Like I'd watch a lot of YouTube video clips and motivational clips that gets me started or gets me going throughout the day. The one video that just got me there like every single day was that Eric Thomas video.
Oh, yeah.
How bad do you want it? And bro, I would listen to that every day. I'm talking about like with my first start of my first personal training career, where I was catching a train from St. Mary's like 3-4 a.m. to get to King's Cross Fitness first. I would listen to that and I would put that on repeat every day. So like I was there from 4, like I said, I'd wake up 3-4 a.m., catch the train all the way there, and I would stay there till like 7-8 o'clock, go home, do the same thing all over again. I'll just have it on repeat. And he's just like, if you want it bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm just there. I'm just like, all right, man, I'm going to keep going. I'll just keep listening to this. But that's what G'd me up, man. Like literally, that's what G'd me up every single day. And I'm just like, he's like, if you got to be able to like talk underwater. You got to do all this type of stuff. And I was just like, man, all right, I feel that. So I'm just like, I'm down with this.
I feel like that's sort of, I say that's very relatable for a lot of people, young people like myself. A lot of guys, we all listen to, you know, tough motherfuckers, man, like David Goggins and all that, right? A lot of guys always listen to. For me, when I was in high school, I used to listen to one of the American NFL. Like he was about to go into the NFL, but he didn't make it because of his Inky Johnson. And I was listening to his story every day, because that was so inspiring for me. Like in the morning and even after school, I used to bike ride all the way to the park to do my calisthenics workout, but I listened to that almost every day. And then right after high school, that's when I sort of ventured off to different sort of videos, right? I was listening to a lot of motivational videos about being an underdog, cannot be outworked, and man, that motivated me a lot. So especially in the early mornings, I will bike ride to the park, or I usually go further out. I go all the way, because I live in Smithfield as well. I'll bike ride all the way down to Adensa, because I just like that, that environment. And I would just listen to that, and that was like a motivation. Like, that was very inspiring for me, right? So,
it lights something up inside of you, man. Inky's great, man. I forgot what the actual quote was for him, but I do know the story of one of those stories where it was pretty cool. It was just like, it was the word of the day. You know what I mean? So this guy was working in a shop. He was that checkout guy, but there was a line up there, and they'd always wonder why there was a lineup. But obviously, people were looking in the line. They're like, "Why is there a massive lineup here?" And this kid was doing the groceries, but he'd leave them with the word of the day, an inspiring word of the day. So that's why they'd always want to go to him, because he'd make their day. So like, it doesn't matter what you do as a job. Like, you can always inspire people. You can always have this infectious attitude that you can give towards these people, and that's why they'd want to come, or they'd be drawn to you, because you're just giving them that unique vibe that no one else can give.
That's actually funny, because in my gym over at any time, I have a client there, and so she's like a single mother and all, right? And I remember one time I always talk with her, right? And there's times that she feels upset, but one time when I spoke with her, she's rich in wisdom, right? I'd say so, right? She knows a lot. Right? I can tell, because she's been through a lot, and she learned through her lessons, right? But every time I see her, she's always like sort of down, right? I always go up to her. I'm like, all right, what's the quote of the day, right? Say like something inspirational, right? And then until like other members start seeing me like approaching her, saying, what's the quote of the day, and she says something like, just something so like it's funny, but it's actually you know, just like, oh wow,
It's
it
quirky.
makes you think,
It's quirky. And it makes
right?
sense.
And after now, like, you know, I get a group of members like starting to talk with her, and you know, we just sort of built this you know, sort of friendship in this like sort of small circle, really.
It's very easy
it's
to
nice.
do so.
And
You
it's
just
like
have
that.
to include people.
Yeah, like the kid who gave that that what was it, like a
It was like just a word of the day.
word of the day, yeah. And that's like, you know, it's something so little, but it can really you know, make your whole day.
Yeah, it can make your day.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And seeing that happen, especially going up to, you know, one of my clients, so now she's my client, and seeing that happen, like, it always brings a smile to her face, and it's just like she leaves the gym happy and all. So it's nice.
No, absolutely, man. Like I said, man, if you do good towards people, all good things will always come back to you.
Yeah, 100%.
You always have to come in with that mentality. Like, good always comes back good. Bad will eventually always come back bad. Like, you can say you can get away with a lot of bad things in your life, but then eventually karma's going to get back to you.
It does.
You know, so that's why I always try to live with that quote, you know, if you do good things will always come back to you. That's, I mean, there you go, man. That's the quote of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
You just found that out now.
Man.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's great feeling just being able to make people feel happy and enjoy life a bit, especially like when you go to like the server of all places or a cafe, you'll see the person who's working there is depressed and they're not enjoying what they're doing. But when you brighten up their day, as soon as you walk in, you just see that big smile on their face.
Yeah.
And you feel so happy for them that they have even just that little bit of a light up of the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a good feeling. Like, putting a smile on someone's face is the best thing that you can do.
I agree.
It's something that money can't buy. So, I mean,
it's true.
living by that, if you live by that, then you're going in the right direction regardless. You don't need to get anything. There doesn't need to be a transaction for that.
That is so true.
Yeah.
That's right.
And and it's so rewarding too, where when you can give to someone that can't give anything to you back,
Yeah.
you feel so
Well, you're not
fulfilled.
expecting anything in return, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're doing it out of the love of it. And I think a lot of people tend to do things now where they give, but they're always looking for the exchange back.
Yeah. I feel that's what life looks like now. Like, there's always, like, if I give you something, there's got to be a transaction.
Yeah, exactly. Receipts.
Like I said, no shade to what the younger generation's like now, but if you're not doing anything for them, like, they're not really going to give you anything back. Where look, when I grew up, it's just more so like I don't look for anything in return. It's more so a given that, you know, I got to learn this process right now, and this is what I got to go through to get to where I need to be. Whereas if they're doing something, or if they're doing it for free, it doesn't come for it. Like, they won't go stick through it for a very long time to make it out. Let's not to say like there's a certain percentage of people that do. Obviously, you for one, you know, but they always want something in return, or they'll just fall off. You know, so, but yeah.
That's great. I just want to thank you again for coming down. It was a great pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, guys.
Yeah,
Pleasure to meet you guys as well too. Good chat.
Great chat.
Awesome chat. Yeah.
Yeah. Until next time.